What's up, guys? It's Azaran here, and we have something a little bit different. Monotype has its first suspect test of the ORAS meta, and that suspect, ladies and gentlemen, is MegaMedicham. I feel like it's been really quick right after its release that immediately this thing gets suspected. I mean, my thoughts on it are a little bit mixed, so I guess this video is me rambling. I don't really have a script to this, I have some replays to show, but other than that, this is me rambling my thoughts kind of out there on the suspect test here. So I don't think I'll be participating in the suspect test. I do not like suspect ladder ever. I don't like suspect ladder. I've only done it once. The only time I've actually done a suspect ladder is to ban Mega Altaria. Just to ban Mega Altaria, just because Electric needed it. that was it. But it also was a threat on Dragon. Anyways, Medicham, if you want a ladder for the suspect test, you gotta get 2800 coil in 70 games or fewer. Details are here. I'll probably link this link below. So then we look at the arguments of ban, not ban in the chat, right? How people respond. So there are some arguments against the ban. So the arguments against the ban are some of them that I think are rather shallow. But it wasn't banned in ORAS OU, therefore why do we need to ban it in Sun and Moon? That's a very shallow argument in my opinion. That's probably the worst argument you can make for yourself if you are trying to argue against banning against preventing the ban on MegaMedicham. Basically, it doesn't really matter what happened in ORAS. This is Sun and Moon. The meta is how it is right now, so you don't need to be concerned about what happened in ORAS, even though a lot of the things are the same, a lot of things are different. Think about all the new things that are in Sun and Moon that are relevant. Scarf Nihilego, Endgame Sweeper, that is different. Tapu Koko itself revitalized Fairy. It rejuvenated Electric. There's so many more different things in the meta where justify saying no ban because it didn't happen in ORAS OU is stupid logic on my part. Now another argument people say is, which I'm on this train a little bit. I'm on this train. Basically, it's it makes fighting better. It makes fighting better, and that adds another type to our metagame, because at the beginning of Sun and Moon, fighting was unusable. I had many lives, probably, if you guys have watched my videos, many lives where I tried to use fighting mono, and it was okay, but it was by no means a good team build, and it lost to a fuck ton of shit. MegaMedicham, I felt was perfect for fighting. It was a perfect addition for fighting. It does the same thing it does back in ORAS, where it's the run and gun style. The only difference is now you have this ridiculous wall breaker. And ridiculous double priority and fake out / bullet punch options. So now the first comment here is basically a counter argument to this argument, where it's but fighting needs MegaCham, and he's this is flawed logic, and I quote, "Our concern is the overall health of that." It's we do not tier types, we tier metagame. Our concern is the overall health of that metagame, not the individual types. It is unavoidable that some types will just be bad. So it makes it, yes, I agree that you're not here to tailor a type. However, the effects of Medicham do not just give rise to the usage of fighting. Because of MegaMedicham, like Akas says, there's a lot of there's a lot of Psychic in tournament play, and I'm just going to show you how many people in week 1 for Sun and Moon used MegaMedicham in their battle. But the thing is, because of MegaMedicham's release, because while I was doing the court challenge, I saw Rise in Dark. I saw Rise in Balls Deep Hyper Offensive Dark. Not because it counters MegaMedicham, but it counters Psychic. See, the main flaw of this ban, in my opinion, is the fact that you can't do a type ban, or they don't want to do a type ban. Let's look at some other arguments basically. Some people are saying MegaMedicham is not as broken as Magearna. Basically, a lot of people are like, why are you suspecting Medicham when Magearna has this ridiculous move pool that honestly like destroys? Honestly, because like think about this versus ground, you can get up like a shift gear, 1 or 2 shift gears, and boom, it's curtains for ground. Like on a steel team, Magearna is still an end game win condition. Magearna on Fairy is nasty. Like, you know, you got to deal with threats like Bulu who hit hard. Got bulky ass things like Feeny. You know, annoying things like Koku that just come in and out, volt switching and volt switching and volt switching, and then boom, you have Magearna to clear. So some people are like, oh, Magearna is wreaking more havoc than MegaMedicham. So I don't really think that this argument that this other mon is worse is a solid argument in choosing whether to ban or not ban something. But I kind of do agree that Magearna should be looked at. Definitely. It should definitely be looked at. And back to the whole argument of MegaMedicham was not banned in ORAS, why ban it in Sun and Moon? Well, there were a bunch of other threats in Sun and Moon that are ORAS that were not there. Like think about Hoopa, i.e. Hoopa was still there. Hoopa was still there running havoc, and I think that was scarier than MegaMedi because of, you know, the versatility of Hoopa, you know, whether it could be physical, special, and just the absolute monster it posed. For me, like looking at these comments, the main thing I see is that MegaMedicham is broken because it makes Psychic broken. So now another argument, I guess, pardon me, I'm just like hopping all over, but another argument that people make for why do not ban Medicham is probably not be as good when the other Megas are released, i.e. Mega Gallade, Lopunny, Mega Diancie, Marshadow, like even Swampert, Mega Swampert on Swift Swim, for example. But I do agree that the counter argument for that is for that people are saying here is that you shouldn't focus on what happens in the future of this meta. Right now, you have to be concerned about what's happening in the meta right now. But the thing is, every time a Pokemon gets banned, it doesn't come back. Like all the bans in Monotype that happen, like those Pokemon don't come back, or at least get resuspected in that way once they're gone, like due to a meta readjustment. And I guess it's not like that you could do a resuspect back in ORAS because you weren't really adding many Pokemon. You just added, it was literally the same Mons, and you added Volcanion, and you added Hoopa, and that was about it. That was all the meta changes in ORAS OU. But I guess where am I going? Where am I going with this? I'm afraid that, you know, if you ban MegaMedicham and then all of these things, Lopunny, Gallade, Diancie, come to Monotype metagame, and you know they're wreaking havoc or whatever. But if you put Medicham back, Medicham would not excel as much as it does right now. But yet you're not going to resuspect him back, and you're not going to retest Medicham back into Monotype. I don't know. It's like if there were more meta changes in ORAS, like it would be a legitimate kind of thing to say, hey, you think we could resuspect Talonflame? Like let's say some grass Pokemon came that helps deal with Talonflame. It might be a good idea to resuspect Talonflame back then. But it didn't happen because there were honestly not many changes, not many like releases in the ORAS meta. Unlike here, where we were getting Megastones released slowly, and the meta just changes because of that. Just remember the early metas of Sun and Moon, where Mega Metagross was running wild, you know, and now it's gone, and the other broken mons were running wild. Anyways, mainly people are saying, you know, oh, people have to build around it. People have to build around Medicham, and they have to have a designated check like a Slowbro, a Mega Sableye, a Double Aid. Like a Double Aid on Steel is not that viable this generation. Slowbro, some people say is ass, I guess. Some people say Slowbro is ass, but it's needed. Slowbro is not good on water unless you're running stall water, and like Medicham puts stall water in the dirt. So, I guess you can say that. And, like, for example, people are saying, "Oh, MegaMedicham, affects the way the monotypes affects the way you build with the monotypes." Like, it's like, what can Steel do? So my question is, yes, Steel absolutely gets walloped by MegaMedicham, but it's not like Steel wasn't getting mollywopped by Psychic to begin with and fighting to begin with. Like, if you had Scarf Victini, all you had to do was play around the Heatran, get up the rocks, hit a few bolt strikes on like the Heatran, and then once the Heatran was gone, like Scarf Victini had a field day. So it's not like Steel was that much in favor versus Psychic that it like MegaMedicham just caused Steel to be like, oh, we can't beat Psychic, give up, beat Psychic. It's the same thing with flying. It's like, if you think about, okay, alright, maybe flying a little bit more for Scarf Victini, because like you could play around with Lando, Mantine, Thunderous Eye, like even Zapdos on some occasions, for dealing with choosing whether the Victini's choice Bolt Strike versus V-Create comes out. You could deal with it that way, but then you have other threats that like break into flying, like a Specs Meloetta would destroy most flying, bar like one having a Mantine or something like that. So the thing that makes Medicham super busted, I guess, if there's anything you need to take out of this video, is the fact that it's on Psychic. On fighting, it's not good, and this is where I disagree with a lot of people. A lot of people are like, but it's still broken on fighting. It's still broken on fighting. Yes, of course, it's a ridiculous wall breaker with 600 plus attack, and it's going to drill holes into things. But the thing is, on fighting, fighting is balls deep hyper offense, and the thing about Medicham is it doesn't take away from fighting. It doesn't make fighting. Actually, it does. It does make fighting that much greater, but it doesn't take away from the principle like play style of fighting, where it centralizes the fighting model. Fighting model is literally still a Rocker in Cobalion and Infernape, 1 or 2 Scarfers, Specs Keldeo, Sash Breloom, or for those who like to lure, a Life Orb, and then like you had before Medicham Komomo or something like that. But now it's Medicham who's your wall breaker. Because the thing is, a lot of people don't say that checking Medicham with a faster threat that can knock it out is not a good way to counter it. That's only true because you can switch out on it on Psychic. Like, for example, Tapu Koko versus Medicham. If it's not Specs, it's not knocking it out. Well, let's say Medicham is actually in range of a T-Bolt, right? So then you switch out into Lottie. Well, the thing is, if the Koko Volt switches out into... Actually, this is a bad example because Koko does take Psychic Mono for like a spin cycle. But an example would be, let's say you have Kingdra, right? You have Kingdra on a Swift Swim team, and it's under the rain, and Medicham has already used Fake Out, and now the Kingdra is about to just use Surf and obliterate something. On Psychic, you got checks. You got checks for Kingdra. If the Kingdra can go for Draco, but then it'll suck. It would suck at being a -2. So going to Surf, you could predict it with Breloom or Keldeo and survive the hit with Surf. What am I saying? Not on fighting. You can take the hit with like a Slowbro, an AV Meloetta. You could take the hit with like Spadef Drachi on a Draco for a Kingdra. Like, there are ways to switch in the Kingdra on Psychic that fighting does not have. Even like for fighting, the thing is, if Swim Kingdra's out, you're sacking them on. Because Keldeo's going to get 2-hit KO'd, Breloom's going to get 2-hit KO'd, and those are your water resists. Like, it's just because of the play style of fighting and the options fighting has, it's forced to play run and gun. It can't be bulky. It just has, it's literally 6 offensive threats, like, that just go all out and, try to break the holes of the team before it's broken down. for Psychic, you can run a backbone. You can run a backbone of Psychic so that Medicham can switch out. A Mon can take a hit, and you have more sacks than your opponent, so that when Medicham comes back in, he's forced to sack a Pokemon. That's what makes MegaMedicham Psychic extremely broken. The fact that Psychic has this backbone to rely on, that the team building is so great for Psychic that you could switch out on whatever Mon threatens Medicham and find a way to deal with it and then bring it back in and get the kill. And that's what makes it busted. So now we'll take a look at some of the replays. From tournament play week 1 of the MPL. I don't actually have all of them, in fact. I do not have all of them. So we're going to look at this one. This is probably the replay that just simply shows Medicham absolutely at work. So here we've got Endel versus Acast. We got Electric versus Medicham. You're going to see Medicham is going to rock this team's socks off. So we got Medicham here, faking out on the Coco. So already, I guess this is for the argument of pro ban Medicham. So fake out, look at that. 33%. 33% to Coco. You did a third. And then Bullet Punch will do the same amount of damage. So literally one more fake out on the Coco and a Bullet Punch and it's gone. So now Endel switches out here into Slowbro sacking. He doesn't really need Slowbro for Electric Mono. Like, no, absolutely no use for it. Now he's going to go to Zapdos here and Latios. See, the thing is, what does Acast team have to deal with Medicham? Tapu Koko. This is probably Specs Mag, Sash Golem, and Raichu. Thing is, one fake out from Raichu, and it's dead. It's practically dead, as you'll see. We'll continue here. Side shocking. I think he gets a crit. Mag, Draco, boom. Whittles the Mag down. Jirachi. Let's see. Rotom doesn't even live from Medicham. Coco comes out. Coco's now at 55 because of rocks. Gleams here. And now Gothitelle is going to do some more damage to this. Oh no, it's not. It's just going to die. Now Medicham comes out. Here we go. So Acast switches out into Magnezone here. Ultimately sacking it. We got a fake out here. Terrain comes out. Jump kick. Boom. Goodbye. Tapu Koko comes out. Medicham's going to switch out. One more turn of rocks for Coco, and that should do the trick. Now actually, he wins here. So Medicham comes out. Boom, look. Are we ready for it? Raichu. He's going to take the fake out. Oh, no, he's not. 61%. So Bullet Punch is more than enough to knock out this Raichu here. Boom, goodbye, Raichu. One of the few checks on Electric to soft check Medicham. High jump kick obliterates the Rotom. Gone. Absolutely gone. Zapdos, no dice. Zen Headbutt and or Ice Punch would have been fine in this situation. So here's Ice Punch. Goodbye, Zapdos. Tapu Koko. Boom. Now he's in range of Bullet Punch. It's all over. Boom. And the only thing that was stopping Endel from clean sweeping with Medicham was him missing high jump kick. So in this bout, I could see why Medicham was such a threat. But the thing is, before Medicham came out, you know what the Psychic was running? MegaZam. And the thing is, Electric did not even have... Electric was also struggling with MegaZam also. So I guess you could say as a counter argument, it's not like Medicham is the threat that dismantled Electric. Psychic just had so many other options. Like MegaZam honestly throttled the team because it would trace Surge Surfer, so then the Raichu couldn't knock it out. So we had to go into Mag, and then you had no counters. Psychic would do half to Spadef Zapdos, and then would obliterate everything else. And once again, the only way you could beat MegaZam was with Prankster T-Wave from a Thundurus, but nobody runs Thundurus in this meta anymore, except for me. So, like Electric is hard pressed to deal with MegaZam. Scarf Xurkitree doesn't outspeed it because it's only base 80. So, what do you do with MegaZam? While Medicham's prowess is shown here, I guess don't blame Electric for not being able to deal with Psychic, because Psychic is just a hard matchup just because of all the threats he had. You have to deal with Scarf Victini, and then predicting the U-turn versus V-Cray, getting your Rotom whittled down. And then you have Latios here, which is a threat where the only check is Magnezone, especially on Electric. When you don't have Magnezone, Latios has a field day with your team. So there's a lot of things that are going away from Electric here that enable Medicham and Megazam, I think, to just dent holes in it. But anyway, back to, I think I'm deviating from the point. Back to like replays of MegaMedicham. Here we don't really see MegaMedicham doing that much, or as in, I don't think we see anything MegaMedicham doing that much in this battle right here. But maybe Swampert was here for MegaMedicham as in to take Rocky damage, but I remember this is like a specs like Swampert, or especially attacking Swampert, so I don't think it was designed for MegaMedicham in that regard. So I watched some of these replays. There were, I think, 8 or 9 MegaMedicham teams used, and there was even one replay where both teams had a MegaMedicham on it. So here, what you start to notice about the Psychic teams are, if you start to notice, there's 3 main ones. One's with Celebi. We have the one with Celebi. There's one with Hoopa. And there's one with Gothitelle right here. So there's the Hoopa one, there's the one with Gothitelle, and then you have the one with Celebi right here. So what do you notice about all of them? They all have a fucking Slowbro. I guess this is what the Monotype Council is trying to say, where there is a Slowbro there just to solely counter MegaMedicham. Or at least, check it, because MegaMedicham can still obliterate Slowbro with a Thunder Punch. But the fact that you never saw Slowbro, I did not see Slowbro for most of the Sun and Moon meta until MegaMedicham came out. Yes, that's fine, but once again, it all boils back to the fact that Psychic is so good. Psychic is so good. When you have the option of Latios, when you have the option of Victini, now you even have Gothitelle to trap the things that MegaMedicham could struggle with, and then boom, MegaMedicham is free. You've got this Sasher and like Alakazam. You got the Sasher and Alakazam that like helps MegaMedicham. Like, it's just Psychic has so many support options. So looking at it this way, I agree that MegaMedicham should be banned. Alright, but before I say my final words on this, look at this replay. So what's annoying to the Thorns team, like, if there was no MegaMedicham, honestly? Let's say there was no MegaMedicham. Tapu Fini's definitely annoying, because then Tapu Fini Swampert's annoying, because then Victini would have to like predict when the Swampert goes for Bolt Strike versus U-turn, and Tapu Fini can get a Nature's Madness off. Greninja is a problem, right? Greninja is definitely a problem. And even the other, like, waters are a problem, especially for Latios, because Latios can't one-shot most of them. Cannot be one-shot except for Keldeo and possibly Swampert with a Draco. So the thing about Medicham here, Fake Out, doing chip damage to the Fini. We're going to skip a few turns here. Hoopa, Manaphy. Yeah, this Hoopa is able to kill the Manaphy, or Hoopa and U-turn Victini. But now Medicham comes back in. And now Victini is here. So, boom, Fake Out. Alright? Does 19. Zen Headbutt does a fuck ton in 57. Moonblast's not able to kill the Medicham. Like, the only reason it did, like, Zen Headbutt did that much is probably maybe Thorn's Jolly, and the fact that Tapu Fini is, like, super defensive, and therefore Moonblast's not gonna kill anyway. Boom! High Jump Kick, able to kill it. Now your Tapu Fini's gone, the one thing that, like, that helps you deal with, like, Victini U-turning. Greninja comes out, you have to switch in like Spadef Drachi, he's sacking it here. However, now you have Victini here. Victini can click a free U-turn here now. And there's no consequence, especially if he had a Fini, like, what do you go into next? Like, Slowbro's not going to beat Fini 1v1, Latios was not going to beat Fini 1v1. Like, so, boom, now he gets a switch into Latios here, boom, goodbye. So then, when's the next time Medicham's going to come back in? So the thing is now, the pressure, like, with MegaMedicham, like, the pressure now is on Greninja to win this game. Like, Fini can't win this game anymore. I mean, Greninja was going to win from the start, but, like, more pressure on Greninja here. But now, like, but then, like, if you put too much pressure on Greninja, then Victini can have a field day. Well, I don't know, maybe it's a bad example because RMBS won the battle, but what I'm trying to say is, like, think about it. If RMBS didn't have a Greninja, and, like, your core to deal with Psychic is gone. Like the bulky core of like Swampert versus and Tapu Fini is gone. Like, what do you have for Psychic? It's tough because I mean, if Swampert dies, then like Victini has a field day. If Fini dies, Latios has a field day. And the thing is, MegaMedicham is just there to break one of them open. It doesn't matter which. It just helps the rest of his team win. So I guess that's the argument that Psychic's partners with MegaMedicham allow it to be so busted that it needs to be banned. Now the solution, in my opinion, type ban. Like, but the thing is, I was talking, I think, with Wanka earlier, and apparently type bans aren't a thing. They're not a thing because of the global admin, like the Immortal or something like that. He doesn't do type bans. Because I was telling him, I'm like, what about back in ORAS when you had a type ban, like the Zapdos was banned on flying but not on electric, because electric needed it. Electric needed Zapdos, or else it was just gonna be shittier than it was before, like super shit. Like electric was like okay, it was actually pretty bad. It was like bottom 4 in ORAS, but it needed Zapdos. Ghost needed Aegislash, and apparently the council like fought hard to try to keep Aegislash in the meta, but the admins like, no, get rid of it. But I felt like type bans should be a thing, especially in a metagame where the typing of Mons is central to the metagame. It's like, why avoid a type ban if the metagame you play is all about all 6 Mons sharing the same type? I don't get it. And like, lastly, the argument of like we're trying to promote like a healthy metagame. I understand that some types are going to be worse than others, and some types are going to be subpar. But is it really a healthy metagame if only a few types run the show? If like fighting doesn't get like a chance, grass doesn't get a chance, or other things like that. I felt like, I feel like MegaMedicham gives fighting that chance to like be relevant in this meta. However, the pros or the benefits that Psychic gains from it is just too much to outweigh it. So I guess at first, honestly, I immediately said no ban, but I'm starting to see why the council is saying ban MegaMedicham. However, like in a perfect world, pardon this music, I don't even know what it is. Like, pardon this music. But anyway, in a perfect world, MegaMedicham would be able to be banned only on Psychic and be kept on fighting, in my opinion. I disagree with the people who say it's broken on fighting, because the thing is, fighting does not have the backbone that Psychic has. So once the offensive check comes in on the Medicham, you're gonna have to sack a Mon. And eventually, if you play it right, the fighting mono will have less sacks than you, and that's how you win the game versus Medicham. Like, that's how you play against hyper offense in general. So those are just my thoughts on MegaMedicham. I might ladder on it. I really don't like to ladder on Suspect Ladder, but if I feel the need to, if I get bored, because then that means I won't be able to like put out like too much mono content. But I guess that's it. Like, maybe it was just me rambling. I don't know if anybody actually listens to this, but it's just my thoughts and me rambling about how I feel MegaMedicham should be handled. Like, really wish type bans would happen again. Or type bans, or type exclusives. Because there was a time where Shaman Sky was on grass, Kieran White was on ice. Like, it was interesting. It was interesting. And like Aegislash was on Ghost, and that really benefited him. Bug was a relevant mon of the meta because of Genesect. Like, I'm not saying Genesect wasn't busted, because Genesect was busted, but the fact is that it has happened before where there's a singular mon in only one typing, and there's a ban of a mon one typing. So what's wrong with like the global admin that he's not allowing these type bans in a type central metagame? I don't know. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys listen, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.